Morning, y'all. Hope y'all having a good one. I got my post set yesterday. Now, this is going to be for the hot tub to sit on, this little deck right here. The hot tub's going to sit on this deck that I got right here. I dug those about 3 foot deep, put a bag of Sacrete under them. Put some screws into the side, put 2 more bags around the outside, and what that'll do is that'll give that concrete something to hold to, and in that way that post can't just slip through it, if you know what I mean. So got me a little foundation for my stove over here, or my heater, water heater, and I just formed it up with 2x4s, drove some stakes in the side, leveled it up, screwed the stakes to the form boards, mixed up about 6 bags of Sacrete in the wheelbarrow, poured it in there. No problem. You can put wire in there too. I think I put some wire in there too, to keep it from busting. Now you can go with a 300. You can go with whatever size tub you want. I just went with 175 gallon. I figured that would be enough for 2 people. 1 or 2 people, there's no sense in, me getting a big 300 gallon tank, because it's just going to take that much longer to heat the water. I'm hoping it'll heat this one up pretty quick. So what I'm going to do with the tank is I'm going to get some of that wide spray. Great Stuff's got some wide spray, and I'm going to spray the outside of it. After I get everything plumbed in like I want it, and in another drain where I can get it drained off the deck, I'll take that wide spray and I'll spray it down and get it well insulated, and then I want to encase it in treated lumber. So that way you're not looking at all that. You know how that spray foam, it don't look too snazzy. So I want to do that. And yeah, I've got to wash that thing out. It's brand new, but it sure don't look like it. But I'm going to take a side grinder with a soft wheel on it, and I'm going to file that down, because you don't want anything. I don't want to get in there and get all skin up. So you leaning back on that thing, you want to be comfortable. So I got my benchmark on my post. I'm going to saw those off and get that thing as low to the ground as I can without touching the ground. And then that way, you're not stepping up so high. I'll probably end up, making a little walkway from there to the back steps. I put this thing on the back side of the house because I don't want to bump my deer in the front yard. I feed the deer in the front yard, and I don't want to bump them at night when I'm going in and out or whatever. So I'm thinking about taking this, having the hot tub on here, and then having a cold plunge right next to it. I can jump out the hot tub, but I'm doing all of this because of my neck and my back. It was a year ago today that I broke my neck in 3 places and my back in 2 places, and messed up a kidney pretty good. But and I'm still trying to recover from that. It's been a long process. I've been working through it, but it's been pretty tough for sure. But if we went to Texas, and we were in a hot tub, and it's the first time I've ever been in a hot tub, and this was probably a month ago. And I'd get in the hot tub, and then I'd jump out in their swimming pool, and the swimming pool was freezing, and it seemed to help more than anything. That seemed to help more than anything. So I've got a little cold plunge up here. I'm gonna set it out here, and it's wintertime. It's fixed to be, in the teens during the night, so it'll keep the water plenty cold, I promise you. So what I'll do is I'll get in the hot tub and then jump over to the cold plunge. Now, you don't have to go through all of the process that I'm going through to build this. You don't have to do this. All you need is this tank and that coil, and that's all you need to have a hot tub. That's what it was designed for. You don't need any electricity. All you need is wood, that coil, hook it to this tank right here, and it's supposed to circulate itself. All I'm doing is just dressing it up a little bit, because I want it a little bit more permanent. But I'm going to put a lid on this thing, and I'm going to have it insulated too. That way it'll keep the water as warm as possible for as long as possible, like a cooler. Like a gator cooler. When I got me enough wood busted over here to last me a pretty good while, it goes all the way around to the back side, just like that. So got plenty of wood. Fixing to build this deck right now, and we're fixing to get started. I'll try to walk y'all through it as I go. All right, there it is, folks. 2x10s. Yep, and doubled them on the outside edge right here on both sides, because they're toting the load, on these ends right here. And I know I didn't use joist hangers. Probably gonna have some of y'all say, why didn't you put joist hangers on it? Well, I put six 3-inch screws on both ends, toe-nailed in, so that should hold up 175 gallons of water. So, yep, I know it. And this is my crew right here that's helping me out here. So I'm about to put the 5/4 boards on here, and then I'm gonna get this tub cleaned out because it's nasty, and try to plumb it in, and then hoping that we can find some spray foam. Yeah, I know it, buddy. I know it. I'm gonna see if I can get Hannah to pick me up some spray foam and spray foam the outside edge of this thing after I get everything plumbed in like I want it. Y'all hang in there. We're gonna have us a hot tub pretty quick. Well, I tell you what, ain't this something? They got it made. All right, nothing special, just a 8x8 little deck right there to hold that hot tub up. And I'm gonna probably build a walkway that goes from there over to the back steps right here, and then that way you're not tracking in the house. So the heater's gonna sit right here. So I'm gonna run PEX from the back side of my heater around. I'm gonna hook one to this 3/4 fitting right here. And I'm gonna have a drain for it too out here. So it's gonna, I'm only gonna have to cut one hole in it. That one will be a drain, plus it'll be the inlet for the coil in the water heater. And then I'm probably gonna come in here and pop one, probably up in here somewhere, put a hole. And I've got a little flange that I can put in there, and then another 3/4 inch male will go into that. Then I'm gonna spray foam the whole thing and encase it in these 5/4 boards right here. So it'll cover all of that up and it'll look good. And plus I can hinge off of these 5/4 boards. I can put a lid on this thing to cover it. And then that way, you know, you don't have all the trash and stuff from the trees and all that going in it. But, you know, when you're not using it, all I have to do is turn a valve on right here and drain the tank. And then, you know, you won't be holding water in there. And I don't know if I'm gonna run with the salt water to keep the water clear, but I don't know. I hadn't really figured that part out yet. But I am gonna put an inline pump right here, and you could put a filter inline too, just to keep it filtered, like a swimming pool filter. And then as it pumps through, you know, you got that little inline pump. You want something small. I'm not gonna go with anything huge. Just something just to move the water through the coils that's right here in the heater, and then back out and around and in there. But like I said, you could put a filter. I may do that in the future, but not right now. But get it plumbed in, spray foam it, and then I'm gonna spray foam the lid too. But I'll probably put like a tin top on it, and then that way I could just hinge it up on the outside. But we'll see. I don't know exactly how I'm gonna do it yet, but you get the gist of what's going on anyway. Y'all hang in there. We're gonna have a hot tub pretty quick. Okay, 1.5 inch hole cut out. You see this thing right here? I'm gonna show you. It's got a little rubber gasket right there, so that should keep it from leaking. Let me show you what it looks like. All right, it's threaded on inside. So all I did was screw a male. You know, I Teflon the, I mean, you gotta, I probably put 10 wraps of Teflon on it, screwed it in there. And it's 3/4 inch PEX that hooks to that. So all I gotta do is clamp my PEX on there, put an L, and then head straight back to the heater over here. So that's one connection right there. All I've got to do is tighten this nut up real good, snug it up real good, and we'll be good. And then on this end, I'm using the original drain, and same thing. The only difference is on this one is I'm gonna make my connection right here on a short piece of pipe before I slide it into there, because I won't be able to, once it goes all the way in, it's gonna be hard to get your clamp, you know, your little compressor on this thing with it up in this little pocket right here. So I'm gonna wait on that one until I get my PEX tool. I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna tee down, and I'm gonna have this valve like this so I can drain the tank. And then it'll tee off and go to the heater. Nothing to it, y'all. Well, I got my helpers out here, don't I? Let me tell you, they's something else. All right, so this one had a little divider, or a little stabilizer that mounted in the middle just to keep it honest, to keep it from bowing out as you fill it up full of water. Oh, another thing I was concerned about, if anybody gets a galvanized tank, the reason I went with plastic is if I do go with a salt or some kind of chemical treatment on the water to keep it from the algae growing, oh, I don't know how the galvanized is going to hold up. I know the roof metal with any kind of chlorine or any kind of salt or anything will break that galvanized down and you'll start rusting it out. So I was concerned, you know, that's the reason I went with a plastic tank. It's just safer. Not saying if you went with a galvanized tank and you just filled it up and then dumped it, you know, every 4 or 5 days before it turns green, you could still do what I'm talking about with a galvanized tank. I just opted to go with the plastic tank, just easier to deal with if I do go with some kind of treatment. Another thing I was thinking is, okay, say this thing gets too hot. The water's too hot, and it's not like you can turn the fire off on this thing. You're just gonna have to damper it down the best you can and try to regulate a temperature that's you know, that you can stand. But if not, what I'm thinking, like if it's getting too hot, I mean, it's not like we're making a cooker here. We're trying to just relax and kick back in the hot tub and not, you know, boil crawfish. So I'm thinking that I could take the garden hose, worst case scenario. This is a trial and error thing because there's no regulating the temperature of the water coming in here. There's no way to do it. I mean, you can damper the fire down like I was talking about, but who knows? So if it did get too hot, I could always take the garden hose, put in here, and start pouring cold water in here, and then turn my drain on out here. That's what I'm thinking, if it's getting too hot. Getting too cold, poke some more wood in the fire. That's what I'm hoping. We're gonna give it a try anyway. We're gonna try it and see how it works out. Just thought I'd throw that in there. All right, y'all don't laugh. Wind's blowing 92 miles an hour out here, and I did the best I could, let me tell you, for not ever using this stuff before. But it swells. I mean, I just put that on there, and it'll be 1.5 inches thick in just a little bit. So, and you can put more coats on there, but do wait and let it cure between coats, because what you'll do is you'll blow that stuff off. It's got so much pressure in that can. But it works good, and that's better than it just being the plastic. I think it's going to add that much more insulation and help keep that water warm. But you see what I'm using right there. Got it from Lowe's. It's pretty pricey, about 20 bucks a can, but it still, you know, beats having to take it to somebody with spray foam rig and do it. You know, they got some more stuff. I was looking on online. They got some more stuff that you can use that's probably as effective and maybe a little bit cheaper, but this was convenient, and you know, right there at Lowe's, and Hannah picked it up on the way. So I think it worked out good. I'm probably gonna put another coat. That's 3 cans on that one tank, so I'll probably put another coat over especially this side right here, because it does look a little thin. Y'all hang in there, we're gonna make this happen. All right, y'all, there it is. Got my frame built. Got some good joints on these 45s, but y'all know when it shrinks, you know, when it dries out, it's gonna shrink, and it's just gonna be a mess. But it looks good right now anyway. I got a quick disconnect right here that I can reach down in from the top and get to. So if I want to replace the tub, I can just pull this one. I can just knock this joint loose and pop that tub out if something happens to it, it breaks or whatever. And I did this one the same way. I made it a little short, so I just added a little bit to it right here. Got a quick disconnect right here. I know it's long, but I can pick it up on that end and pull it that way and just pull it right up out of here. I did set the tub down a little bit because of that piece of metal, piece of conduit right in the middle right there. That stabilizer is sticking up a little bit higher than the tub itself. So what I'm gonna do with the door on the top is I'm gonna make a gasket to go all the way around the outside rim of this right here, and then I'm gonna, of course, I'm gonna insulate the lid too that goes on at the top. So all I'm gonna do is hinge it off the back here, and then I'm gonna open it up like that and just have a kickstand back here on the back to hold it. And then when I get done, just lay the lid back down. It'll be down on this gasket, and hopefully keep the water, you know, warm. And that way you don't have to burn so much wood to get it back, or wait that long to get it back to a temperature that you can, you know, be comfortable with. I was going to put 5/4 boards, you know, frame this in with 5/4 boards all the way around. stand them up and down and then trim the top and bottom, but I don't have enough to go all the way around, and it's going to be super heavy like that. So what I'm thinking is, I've got a bunch of this old metal, so I'm thinking I'm going to put the old metal in there and then just cut a piece of do have enough 5/4 to trim the top and the bottom. Sorry about this, folks. I know it's me holding the phone and trying to show y'all probably. But I think that'll look good, especially with a piece of trim at the top and then one at the bottom. That way you won't no chance of cutting yourself, and then of course trim the corners. I think that'll look pretty sharp though. Do it like that and go all the way around it, and it'll keep it lightweight. It won't be so heavy. Of course it don't matter, this thing's pretty stout, but keep it lightweight. I think it's gonna turn out good. I got up this morning, it was 55 degrees, wasn't hardly any wind. Got in the tree stand and it about blew the tree down. I told everybody on Instagram, I said I could smell what Santa Claus was cooking for breakfast yet this morning, because let me tell you, it was cold. And it's been dropping ever since. It's getting cold. That turned out pretty good. I'm gonna finish up this video, and then I'll, when I get the rest of it done, get the lid on it, the gasket on it, and install the heater, the water heater. I'll get y'all caught up. But I think that turned out pretty good. Pretty good, not too bad. I like that old rusty tin, and it'll match that old rusty tank, that propane tank, that the water heater. Not too bad though. Hey, hope y'all enjoyed the videos. Appreciate y'all.